Hello, welcome to episode 141 of the Univore podcast. I am Sadie, also known as Blue Ruin on Ravelry. We shoot stars on Plurk. Sadie Ruin on Twitter and on Instagram. Not on Plurk very much, so I don't even know why I keep saying it's repetition. I've been doing this for over 100 episodes, so I just feel the need to include random, useless information. I just heard a bebop. He's around here somewhere. He's rocking a skullet. He got a bath, and he's a Shih Tzu Lhasa palm thing, so he gets the eyebrow growth, but we won't put it up in a bow, so we just shave it. So he's rocking the skullet right now. The hubby was joking. He was like, "You're gonna call this episode Skullet and Gravy Beard." I'm like, maybe, because he had some serious gravy beard. We gave him some wet food because he ate my pajama pants. That's right. He's moved up from eating socks and underwear to actual pants, which I put on and felt very airy, and then immediately realized he ate a giant hole in the butt. However, to help move this through him, we gave him wet food with some Metamucil. He's never had any issues pooping out the weird things he eats, and I'm sure you needed to hear that at the very beginning of this episode. It's just the long and short of being a pet owner, right? Like, there's nothing. I could take him to the vet and have them operate on him, but quite frankly, it's going to give it a couple of days, and it's going to come out in the wash. I'm sure you needed to hear that. I'm really sure you were just dying to know about that. Anywho, this episode will not be titled Skullets and Gravy Beards, even though he was very, very gravy-licious. Like, all up in here. He looked like a kid eating SpaghettiOs. I'm not gonna lie. And with the skullet, he's just... yeah. So, this is probably gonna be a short show. I say that because there's not a lot of knitting to show, but we've got a lot of other things going on, so let's just jump right in there. I have no finished objects. I should have a snuggle finish, do I? No. This is my snuggle knit-along for 2 months. We've got epic prizes, and can I seem to get another snuggle? No. I'm sure I will feel zen again soon. My knitting mojo and I, we are not talking. We are not looking at each other. There's not even a smile and a nod across the room. We're just... So, I have one work in progress that has actually seen work since last week. One. I know. That's pathetic. I host a podcast. Okay. So, the morning coffee jacket, which everyone has seen me knit on for a little bit now. Well, since the 1st of January, because it's the SSK knit-along. I finished the right front. It's the right front. I finished the right front. Stylistically, that is what it will look like. There's my little button. It's like a little booby sheath. It's what it is. Boob sheath. I actually like the V, because I like things with V's, because then I can show off my tattoo. Yes, Petrie, I show off my tattoo. Petrie's just like, yeah, you do. I'm used to it. So I did finish that front, and last time you saw I was working on the left front. This is how much is left of the ball, which is actually why I stopped knitting on it. I got to the point where I am into the decreases, the bust decreases here, and this is the armhole decrease. So as I add the next ball, I'm on the armhole decrease. So somewhere around y'all. There. Probably about there. Around there. There's the booby sheath for you. And there goes my phone, which I have to pick up eventually because we're going to be doing a giveaway today. So, yeah, almost done the right front. And then I have a pair of sleeves. We all know how well the sleeves go for me, but these are 3/4 length sleeves, so I am not too terribly worried. Hold on one minute. Grabbed the phone. We're going to need that. Set it up there. Haha. I had to take the case off my phone, which really bugged me, because it it was getting too hot, and I think it was the style of plastic that the case was making it too hot, and it was having a hard time holding a charge, and as soon as I took the case off, life was great. So, clearly it needs to get another case. I have an itch. Need to get another case that does not do that to the phone. Aside from that, the phone is great. I am knitting this out of Malabrigo Rios. If I hold it back here, you get it pretty true to color. It's a moderate blue with pale purples throughout. The Malabrigo Rios in the Bobby Blue colorway. This is the 4th skein. 4th or 5th. I cannot remember. It's either the 4th or the 5th. I've got a bunch. So I think I have this to finish off the top, and then I'll have a skein, a piece for each of the sleeves, which should work. Should, would, could. I just need it to work. That's all I need. I need it to be done by the end of February, and I need it to work, because damn it, I want those 12 tickets. There's 1,225 yards involved here. I want the damn 12 tickets. And actually, I want the sweater, because it looks really comfy. And I could go for a really comfy 3/4 length sleeve sweater. I really could. It's easy, it's mindless, and I'm enjoying it. Plus, I took all of the shaping out of the front. I put the shaping in the back, left the shaping out of the front, because let's face it, I do not need to emphasize the gut, and the boobs will be naturally emphasized, given the V. Because quite frankly, you put a V on me, as you can see, and all you see is tattoo and boobs. It's great. Just for you, Amy. Just for you. Because I know you love the shirt. I'm just going to talk about my chest now for you. The shirt was entertaining. Ironically enough, my mother didn't have a problem with it. My mother bought me that shirt. Okay, so, yes. I'm hoping next week when I record, I will have this front finished. So then the 2 fronts in the back, and then I'll have a sleeve. I should have a sleeve on the go. Quite frankly, I may need to start drinking. These are on US 7s, which is a 4.5 millimeter. I'm using Hi sharps. These are the only sharps I own. I think I prefer the regular Hi. I prefer the regular Hi for socks. I already know, because I'm already gouging myself pretty bad on these. And well, Dawn does love them. And I see their point. I don't have medical tape, and I'm not going to go out and buy medical tape just to use needle. No. I'll stick with Hi-Hi's overall. So, ta-da! I added an extra 2 inches onto the length of the body because I knew I needed it. Otherwise, it would be too short, and every time I sat down, you'd get plumber crack. And quite frankly, I require shirts that do not give me plumber crack, because apparently I need to talk about my boobs and my ass on the show. Until ass and boobs from here on in. Bebop is falling asleep. So that's one work in progress, knitting-wise, that I have on the needles. It is knitting up gorgeously, though. Look at that. Look at that color. Just look at it. Soft and smushy. And it's awesome. I do love Malabrigo Rios. Just love the smish. It's very, and worsted goes so fast. Like, I knit DK, I knit sport, I've knit fingering, and yet the worsted, it goes so fast. If I go up to an Aran or a chunky, then I start feeling like I'm just adding bulk to an already bulky frame, and I kind of feel like I do have one that I spun and I knit for a Tour de Fleece a few years ago. Straight from fleece to sweater. I processed it, I carded it, I spun it, and then I knit it. And it was insane. But it is definitely a Aran to bulky. It's great for when it's cold, but if it's not cold, I'm wearing too much wool. I have an easy time heating up. I have a harder time getting cool again. So I tend not to, that's why I don't knit any pullovers, because pullovers would just be, it's going to mess up my hair when I have to pull it off, and I'm going to end up all staticky, and B, I'm going to be too warm. There's going to be like giant pit stains, there's going to be badness, and I'm full of the wrinkle. As you can see, hubby did the laundry. And hubby does the laundry by doing laundry and then taking the entirety of what's in the dryer, throwing it in a basket, and forgetting about it for a week. Currently, he did laundry this weekend, so there's 2 baskets full of laundry that need to be folded in the living room. I will do those later today. But they get forgotten about 9 out of 10 times because I could care less. But whether or not I'm wrinkly. But I am wrinkly because of that. Let's face it, a husband who does the laundry is worth his weight in gold. It doesn't matter if you're going to end up wrinkly or not. Just saying. Buy wrinkle-resistant clothing, you're done. I know that's what you needed. And I'm recording on a Tuesday because I wanted to give everybody an extra day to watch and enter into the Dishcloth Diva Knits On thingy-majigger. The lovely Deb Buckingham, who sent me the cutest PM thanking me for the awesome review. I didn't really think the review was that awesome, but I'm glad she did. I'm glad y'all did, and we have a lot of entries for that. So, into the miscellany. See, I told you it's going to be a short show. The reason I haven't been knitting very much is because I'm on this kick to get this wolf done for my uncle, the wolf I showed you last week, and I am pretty much, I'm in the back stretch, people. And I put it on a bigger a bigger hoop. So there you have it. I've got to finish this. It comes around here. There's a tree. And there's some blue I put in, and then I'm done. And I really want to get it done so it goes out to my mummy, who can either frame it or have it framed, so that it can find its way to him. I know she's going to be going to visit him and my aunt in end of February, beginning of March. So yeah, I want to have this done and out of my house. It is the aunt who is suffering with an illness, and so I'm showing my support to him by needle pointing him this wolf. And when it's done, it should look like this. There really is no way to show this picture nicely, but as you can see, I've just got this to do, and then this up over here, and the tree, right, this one tree right here. And that's it. Now if you look at the picture, I'm not sure if you can tell from the picture, but the wolf is clearly outlined in brown, and the trees are clearly backstitched in brown. They're black on the thingy, and the backstitching instructions are: backstitching is a part of some designs, also used for lettering. The purpose of backstitching is to form a continuous line with each stitch touching. It may travel in any direction. It's the poorest pattern instructions I've read in a long time. If this was a knitting pattern, I would contact the designer. It's just near, and there's no symbols in there. You just have to guess at the colors and hope they're right. And then you got the little color chart here, but you've got 5 browns. You've got 5 browns and grays and stuff, so you're winging it. It's a wing. So, needless to say, I have outlined the wolf in black. I feel it makes the wolf pop. Mostly because I forgot I was outlining the wolf, that the picture had a difference and there is no instruction. Because in a good pattern, because I did get the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery Once Upon a Time sampler, we'll discuss that in a second. I have a problem. But if you look at that one, without infringing on copyright, they tell you which back stitches need to be done in which colors in the notes proper. However, it is coming out pretty. And I am going to backstitch all of the leaves onto the tree in the dark brown and just say, screw it. Having said that, I think it's really pretty, and you can barely tell I've screwed up some things. For instance, there's an extra row of dark gray in the ear because I miscounted. Can you tell? No. Does it make a difference to the universe? No. So, Hoping to have this finished tonight. Given I have a dyeing and warping day ahead of me, it's hard to say. I've got a trillion Ravelry and email messages to get back to. I'm sorry if I'm taking forever to get back to you. For some reason this weekend I slept. That was my whole thing. I got up and I fell back asleep on the couch before I was even done my first coffee. And then I'd wake up 4 hours later and be up for a few hours, and then I'd be tired and go back to bed. Clearly, I am either fighting something or my anemia is coming back, so I need to address that. Anywho, the wolf I've been working on. And I've talked about snuggles. Snuggles, snuggles, snuggles. Make more snuggles, post them to the snuggles thread. Although I had an ingenious idea, if you really want it, because we have a skein of vol mice, which I should have brought in here. It's one of the brown ones in a weird different colorway for the big dogs that I have not put up yet because I'm lazy. Well, I'm not lazy. I'm just there's so much to do right now. Not so much, but you know how life gets busy. Life gets busy, and my house is a mess. So I'm dealing with life being busy and my house being a mess. That's just how it goes. And a mess beyond what I accept as a mess. There's messy, and then there's what I accept as messy. Need to clean it up just a smidgen to get it back to being the acceptable messy. Having said that, if you wanted to, and here's a way to maximize your entries, in my mind. You would knit a big dog snuggle, you would crochet a big dog snuggle, and you can do it in bulky weight, so it goes by like that. Or double strand worsted, it doesn't really matter, just as long as it's acrylic or a superwash wool. So you did that, right? So you did two. You crocheted one and you knit one, and then you sew one. So you can enter 3 big dog snuggles in the big dog snuggle for vol mice. You can enter 3 in the regular thread for randoming, for counting your yardage, for counting how many snuggles you've done, and you can enter 1 in the trifecta thread. So you get, for those 3 that you have knit, crocheted, and sewn, you knit one, you crocheted one, you sewed one, one was sewn, you would get 7 entries. 7 entries. 3 in 1, 3 in 1, and 1 in 1. 7 entries total in my group, and then you can post them to other groups. You can get another extra 3. So that's 10 entries all together. Just saying. If you really wanted to maximize your winning streak, that would be the way to do it. 10 entries for 3 things. Given it takes longer to bang out the big dog snuggles, still. Bulky or worsted held double? Come on. Easy peasy. So, my mummy's Christmas gift arrived. Mild enabling here. Which was strange, because she didn't get a click and ship. We were waiting for the click and ship, like, when is the click and ship going to happen? And then it showed up, and I was like, Of course, the hubby turned to the dog and said, well, we're useless tonight, and then started up his Xbox and played Assassin's Creed. There will be crinkly. She got me 3 skeins of this. If I hold it back here, you kind of get it to the true color. This is actually a gorgeous blue. And then there's grays, and it's overdyed in black. This is the... turn the tag. BFL Sport, 100% blue face Leicester, 661 yards per 8 ounces, colorway Haida. It's gorgeous. And I've actually already picked out which sweater I want to do. I think I'm going to do the Lark cardigan. I forget who it's by, but I love it. I love the blues, I love the blacks, I love the grays. It's blue, black, and gray. Come on. Like, I mean, this is totally my wheelhouse. So I got 3 skeins of this, which is enough to do a Sadie-sized sweater. Look at it. Just look at it. See? Big chunk of black, shaded blue-gray. So I got 3 skeins of this. Da-da-da. Which I definitely think will become the Lark cardigan. And then she replenished my socks that rock. So I have, and they're all lightweight. This is Morticia. It's a hot pink right here, and purples and black. There's a cross stitch I saw I may have to buy. It says, "I'm so goth I shit bats." With the amount of bat tattoos and amount of bat love I have, I think I need it. I'm so goth I shit bats. Hobbit Garden, because what Lord of the Rings geek does not need a Hobbit Garden? There are some serious colors going on in here. There's the pale blue, there's a almost a pinky, and then a purple, and the blue keeps going, and it's darker inside here, and then there's the greens, and it's just yummy. I remember seeing it on Two Tangled Skeins, and I was enthralled with it, and finally I have some, so I am a happy camper. And then River Rocked, which has a very it looks almost like foliage by Leading Man. It's just so pretty. There's the blues and the browns and the weird scummy green and the teal and the yummy. and the teal and the yummy. That's all there is. And then lastly, Valkyrie Fledge, which is one of the Raven Clan, as is Haida. So the Fledges don't have the same amount of black over top, from what I can tell. I don't really know the difference, but I've always wanted to get the entirety of the Raven Clan, so I've got 2 of them. Now I just need to keep going. But Valkyrie Fledge, so burnt browns, this bright purpley, pinky, and then the gray and the washed outedness and the yummy. So those are all going to become socks eventually. But it has replenished my socks that rock. I tend to like using the lightweight myself. That's just how I roll. And now that the Christmas colors are done with, I want more. Not even gonna lie to you, it's like I don't need yarn. I'm the last person who needs yarn because I make my own yarn. But oh my god, do I want it. I really do. There's no stopping me. I will build up an arsenal of socks that rock eventually. Okay. I have to open up my iPad. Make you guys wait for a second. Okay. Now before I go into, this is about as far as I got in my Ravelry box this morning. Before I go into the giveaway, which we are going to be having momentarily, I would like to do a shout out to Selket, SELKHET. She is doing an ASPCA fundraiser. I'm going to read this directly from the thing here. I'll hold it up here so I look like I'm talking to you. Emily from Fibertown is hosting a fundraising contest on her forum. So go over there to the Fibertown podcast, and there's a forum. She's raising money for Team ASPCA for the TD5 Borough bike ride in May. There's a little giveaway contest for people that pledge. Details are available on her forum. So there you have it. I did go over and check. There's like $25 Etsy gift cards. There's pretty cool things. So I think you should totally donate to it. And of course it's the ASPCA, and they need love. Because the more love they get, the less kill they need to do. I'm a little reticent when it comes to ASPCAs because they are kill shelters. However, the more money they raise, the less of a kill shelter they need to be. Truth of the matter is, when I lived in Prince Albert, there was an ASPCA, or a humane society. There are humane societies in Canada for the most part. And they didn't have to kill because they had enough staff and enough and a low enough number that they didn't have to kill. They were no kill shelter. If that boomed, of course, they would have to rethink that option. But at the time, they were not a kill shelter. And really, we just need to start fixing more pets. Should be mandatory. Mandatory. There is no excuse not to spay or neuter your pet. There is none. I don't care if you're breeding or whatever. There is no excuse not to have your pet spayed or neutered. We do not need to be breeding more animals when there's so many unwanted ones out there. Just my public service announcement. However, you should go over and donate to this bike ride so that we can keep animals from being killed and possibly win some cool things. Check out the Fibertown podcast for further details. Again, Selcat. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. However, sounds like an intense bike ride. I'm hoping the 5 does not mean like 5K. I would die. There would be death. There would be some serious death. I'm out of shape. Me and Amy Beth, we get it. I was watching, I'm a couple podcasts behind, I was watching the podcast episode where she was talking about walking in the snow. Like, that is every day in Canada for me. And you get like halfway to the bus stop and you feel like you're half dead. You're glad you got to the bus stop because now you can like stand there and try to regain composure before it comes. Because you're like 8 shades of red. You have sweated so profusely that you worry you're going to get hypothermia when the sweat freezes to your body. You need to get back in some sort of shape that isn't just round, you know. I like being able to like lift things, and I cannot lift things without hurting my pec muscles, apparently. So I need to get back into some sort of shape. So, the giveaway. The giveaway. I locked the thread. I'm sure you really need me to sing to you. I will get my phone and pick a random number generator, which will be random.org because I'm lazy. So I was the first post. So we will be going from 2 to the last post, which is 46. 46. There you go. It's going to be blown out, isn't it? Show up. Oh, there we go. It's not going to focus, but it's there. You guys trust me at this point anyway. Generate! The resulting generation is 9. Can you see that 9? It's blurry, but it's there. So the winner is number 9. Who's number 9? Really gotta stop singing. It's not my day job. Number 9 is A1 Dawen. Dawen? A1DAWEN, who has knit both but never mashed it together. She'd like to knit an Afghan based off of all the Doctor Who dishcloths, like Java Pearl did as a baby blanket a few months ago. Java Pearl, of course, Cece from the Geeky Girls podcast. Her and Damaris, her and her daughter Damaris do that one. I am all-knowing. I just don't look like it. So, A1 Dawen, shoot me a shout. I will put your name forward to the people who need to have your name so stuff can be done. Do you like that? Do you like how that goes? And now, back to our daily podcast. For a short podcast, this isn't very short. Okay. Next up on the review, let me just get back to page 1, is Doomsday Knits, which has been on a few podcasts, but hey, if I didn't review this, I would just be sad. Doomsday Knits, Projects for the Apocalypse and After, edited by Alex Tinsley. And of course, there's a couple blank pages. As we have come to know and love with everything Cooperative Press does, you get a gorgeous picture set up for the table of contents, and you can hit on any of them to go forward. Of course, this is edited by, so there is several designers in here, so you do get quite a bit of variation on a theme, which is nice. There's also an identify your apocalypse flowchart, which is hysterical. I forget which one I got. I remember taking it. I'm pretty sure it wasn't the apocalypse when I took it. So it is sminched into different areas. So there's global warming, zombie apocalypse, those kind of things. Just going to touch on a few of the ones I really liked. So in the global warming, there is one called Desert Warrior. It's by Ellen Gill. I like the versatility of this. It's knit out of merino DK, so it would be a quick knit, and it is a gauntlet / leg warmer choice. So there it is as the gauntlet. If you can't tell, I love this particular style of knitwear. You're crazy. And there it is as the leg warmer. Although I wouldn't wear it in the middle of the desert, I think leg warmers come in handy for almost anything anyway. Very simple pattern, primarily knits and purls. If you do it as the gauntlet, of course you're going to have to do a thumb, but really, it's not that hard. And I think that it's a great versatile pattern. Of course, in the Tosh, it shows off the color variations really nicely. Apparently, I'm just going to say like a bagillion times today. So, also in the global warming section, I like this pattern, I really do, which is why I'm showing it to you. It's by Sharon Fuller. It's called Fennec. I'm not sure that it has any practicality or any practical application aside from looking good and keeping your head warm. It does go up to a 4X, which I like. It's this kind of showy, throwy, ovary thingy, for lack of a better term. So you get this. I like the hooded portion. So it's almost like a hooded drapey thing. If you look at this side of the pattern, you can see it's cropped, but it has full sleeves, and the pattern that goes around your head also gets thrown over your shoulder. I like that. It's a very interesting construction. I'm not sure how I feel about the croppedness, but I don't do cropped anything in my life. However, easy fix, and it's cute. I think it would be really good for just keeping your upper torso warm, but then again, I don't agree with the weird little, I'm going to show you like 8 inches of my camisole under my shirt sticking out of my butt and it's lace. You know what I mean? I'm not a fan of that style. Here's a massive poncho I'm not going to show you. I do like the Oxygenate top, which is by Melissa Lemons. The bust fitting goes up to a 50-inch bust, which isn't too bad. Well, the 50-inch bust goes up to 54.5 inches. Or no, it goes up to a 62. Never mind. It goes up to a 62. I take it back. Anyone can wear this. It's got the greatest back detail ever. I'm not sure that it's going to show up here, so you should totally go check it out. It's got this deep V, and there's lace across the back. Oxygenate. And then on the front, it has this... Well, it has the same lace pattern on the front, but it has these little... It's almost like a placket, a ruched placket. I like it. I really like it. I have no idea why I really like it, but I love this pattern. I think it's a great summer top. You could wear it with just a camisole underneath, or if you're feeling crazy, just your bra. I would go with the full cami, but it's up to you. It is just gorgeous, though. And of course, it's pleated gills. They call them pleated gills on here. And it's just pretty. Of course, in the nuclear winter, you have the fission gloves. Those are out of a worsted, so those would be a quick, easy pattern to knit up by Annika Baranti. Fission. And it's an interesting take on fingerless gloves because there's an I-cord added on. I like the twisted stitches, I like the little rib, I like the I-cord, I think it's cute, and I like the fact that she's got the weirdest French manicure going on there. So there's cables up the sides, as you can see, with the I-cords. I just think as a worsted pattern, it's a good, quick, easy knit. It would make your hands look very nice and warm. And quite frankly, I do fingerless mitts all the time, despite my belief that children don't need them. Let's face it, any child of the 80s is going to knit the I Was a Teenage Mutant hat. And here's the hat in play with the previous arm warmers. And see, that is something you could totally rock very easily. But by Alexandra Tinsley, I Was a Teenage Mutant. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, of course, is what I immediately think of. It's knit out of Dream and Color Classy with cashmere, so not too rough. It is just a cute, simple hat. And you can't go wrong with a cute, simple hat, especially if you're trying to show off a really nice skein of yarn, or a variegated skein of yarn. Simple patterns like that come in handy for those things. Alpaca Lips by Michelle Moskaluk, which goes up to a 3X, which is a 58.75 inch bust, knit out of worsted and bulky. I don't know that I could get away with it because there's some ribbing going on here, but I do love the aesthetic of this jacket. I think anybody could anybody could wear this. I'm not sure that I would. No, I would. It's just bulky, and we don't talk very much. I suppose if you're more confident with yourself than I am, you can wear this. That's what I'm saying. That's basically what I'm saying. If you've got more confidence about your body, I love the honeycomb detail. I think the ribbing being only on the sleeves and around the bottom is perfect. I'm sure it would be hella quick because, of course, it's bulky and worsted. There are some socks. They're called the Long Road Ahead socks. They look pretty easy, pretty basic. And really, who doesn't love a good sock pattern? These, of course, are made out of worsted, so they would be more of a slipper sock than they would be a go out and about sock, but in post-apocalyptic life, you will need a warmer sock, I assume. They also have some recommended viewing, which I have discovered I am clearly a lot more into post-apocalyptic than I thought I was, because I've watched all of these, except for Delicatessen. Now these A, are my favorite pattern in the entirety of the book, and B, make me think of my friend Julie, who's a total rivet head. What are they called? And they kill all humans. I have to go ahead to find this, don't I? They're called grommets. Look at them. Just look at them. You actually put a grommet in them. Close up. Look at that. I kind of want them, but I've got a really fat arm. And of course, the leading in picture is perfect. I love it with the belt, I love it with the goggles, I love it with the makeup, I love it with the hair. I love it. Now I will tell you some of the details. These mitts are very stretchy and will fit up to 13-inch bicep, intended to be worn with 1 to 2 inches of negative ease at hand and up to 6 inches of negative ease at the bicep. Might be able to get away with it. I got big old flabby arms, you know, the Oprah's goodbye arms. When I wave, they keep waving. See, they don't stop very quick. And they're always going to be that way, or at least until I do something about that. But either way, if I get them to go up to here, that's a lot of coverage. I'm reticent to get under here tattooed until I get this skin thing taken care of, because it's a fair bit of it is skin at this point. But one size fits most women's and teens. definitely fit Julie. FYI. I may have to text her about this. This is by Brenda KB Anderson. And I'm not being biased because we have the same last name. It's done out of Zitron Echo. And it's, yeah. I can't say more about these mitts. I love these mitts. I think everyone who is a rivet head or a goth or a steampunk or any sort of subgenre that would qualify needs to have these mitts. Psycho about the grommets. Just saying. There's also the Alternating Currents Cowl by Alexandra Tinsley. Out of Black Trillium Fiber Studios worsted. One size fits all. It's cute. I can see rocking that as a cowl. I do like the alternating colors. Not as much as I like the grommets. Not as much as I like that picture. The pictures in here are amazing, but of course we always say that with the quality of Cooperative Press and their pictures, they really do throw down in that aspect. Someone who we can always count on for a very good pattern, the Circuit Mitts by Spilly Jane, which fit a women's medium. You can go up or down. I actually have no problem fitting my hands into Spilly Jane mitts when I knit them. She generally does the two colorwork mittens with the Afterthought thumb, and quite frankly, if you have a geek in your life who does computers, the Circuit Board, or the Circuit Mitts by Spilly Jane, completely awesome. Because let's face it, computer geeks, ahoy. Ahoy. It does have, and ironically enough, I've done this before, but way back when I was like 19, 20 years old, Cyber Dreads by Alexandra Tinsley, and it's how to do faux dreadfalls. So if you wanted to, you could end up looking like this fine lady. There are numerous tutorials on the interwebs onto how to do those, but if you're looking for a quick Halloween costume, or you're going somewhere and you're dressing up as a goth or a steampunk or a cyberpunk or a splatterpunk or anything with the word punk in it, and you want to extend your hair and maybe have blue hair without having to dye it blue, because let's face it, it's a lot of upkeep to dye your hair stupid colors, these are perfect. And really, how does she say to do these? It says to use Colonet 0.5 chunky feltable wool. Thick and thin work best. You know what? Use roving. Get some cheap ass roving and do the exact same thing if she says here and use the roving. It'll work just as good. Miscellaneous Mayhem. I love Miscellaneous Mayhem. I think everyone should have some mayhem in their life. There is the Survivor socks. Those are out of a sock weight, which is nice. They've just got a little relief detail. I would call it a purling and yarn over. Yes? Yes? A couple of SSKs, a couple of K2 together. Either way, I think it would be a really good, nice, easy sock to get started off with if you're new to socks. Oh, bondage. My second favorite in the whole thing, and I couldn't wear it. I really couldn't. I would feel strange. Well, no, I wouldn't. I would wear it. If I were thinner, I would wear it. No, I'd just wear it. Okay, I take it back. I would wear it, but I would have to have the right event to be wearing it at. Oh, bondage is one size fits all out of Malabrigo Rasta, and it uses 2 purse straps. And again, for some reason I think Julie needs this book. It's a cowl that utilizes the purse straps to basically, let's see if I can blow this up. Here we go. To loop around your arms, so crisscross around and back up to the cowl. I really like it. It gives you that, it's definitely steampunk because it's got that Old West vibe. You know that Old West vibe I'm talking about. Firefly. I would see that on Firefly. I could definitely see it on Firefly. Then there's the Ditch the Tech. What would I call it? Ditch the Tech is a tunic? / close to a tunic. It goes up to a 4X, which is a 62-inch bust. It's out of bugga, cephalopod bugga, and it's just dang cute. It's just dang cute. It's really cute. If you can wear tunic style stuff, you should totally wear it. I cannot because of my hips. It does have some really nice details just hidden in the back there. So your raglan details, your neck details, there's details at the cuff. It's simple, but it's got these beautiful little details that add in so nicely. There's the front, you can see with the raglan and the collar. Just something that works really nicely with a mildly variegated yarn, maybe a semi-solid. There's recommended reading. I've read a couple of these. Oryx and Craig is on here by Margaret Atwood, and I recently read that. And it's true. It's post-apocalyptic. Dystopian Dandies. Dystopian Dandies. I do believe this is the last section, but this is the Lunar Progression, we'll call it a stole, by Teresa Silver. They're short, long, and extra long, out of Cephalopod Traveler. Super easy looking. I don't know if it's actually super easy, I haven't knit it, but I like the buttons and the circular things here. And those are the lunar portion, and you can make it as long as you would like it. It has a very, it almost looks Gallifreyan to me. Like, it looks like something you would see in a Doctor Who episode, somehow tying Gallifrey or the Doctor's name into things. Just saying. The charts are really well done. It sits beautifully, and of course that would be the hard part because you've got this ribbing that would be totally easy in the middle. The Ringmaster sweater just makes me happy. It of course goes up to a 48-inch bust. The finished measurement on a 48 is 52.5, so they do give you the sizes, but they give you the finished bust measurements because it's intended to be worn with 4 inches of positive ease. So there you have it. It's out of a DK. Skeins Vintage 8-ply DK, pure New Zealand wool, and Merino soft. It's gorgeous. I could totally rock that, I think. Do you see that peplum? That peplum is adorable. But then again, I really like that style. There's this gorgeous detail on the back that I'm really glad they showcased, where it all meets up together. It's just pretty. Oh, so pretty. Because even in dystopia, you too can be a hot lady. And who doesn't like dystopia? The utility corset is pretty, but we can skip that. Sky Pirates. I thought I was at the last section, but clearly I am not. There are a lot of charts for everything. Everything is really well charted and really well written, and I love that. I also love these gauntlets. It's an interesting way to keep them up with the finger ring. I'm not sure how I would feel about that. It's called Oryx, and of course, or no, those are called, no, I'm going to talk about Oryx in a second. Are those Oryx? Yes. No. What? Okay, those are part of the Battle Ready. Battle Ready by Susan Roth. And Malabrigo Arroyo is used. There's also a vest. Not a fan of the vest. We're just going to skip through the vest. It's cute, but it's not... You can look at it online. So Oryx, which of course comes from the name of Oryx and Crake, is a tank top with some pearl detail, it looks like. It's not ruching. And of course, It looks really spiffy. I think it would be just a good little tank top. I like the little buttony things. Those are quite nice. It goes up to a 3X, which is a finished bust of 64 inches. Which, again, I appreciate. I appreciate it all. There are the rattlebone mitts, which are, well, fingerless mitts, I guess. There are 3 sizes, which I like. It's out of Malabriga Arroyo. And they are darling. I like the weird little snippy thing. Comes in handy. Pretty decent. More recommended reading. Brave New World. I am not shocked. The Wayfarer by Jen Lucas is a deconstructed shawl, and I really enjoy the fact that it's deconstructed, so you can sew it up any way you want. It intrigues me. It's out of String Theory Caper Sock. You do 2 triangles, and it tells you how to weave them together in a very cute fashion. So I can totally dig that. Then we go into the about the designers, we go into the abbreviations. Of course, for the designers, they all have cute names, like Jennifer Chickinob Dassow. They've got her website, which is jenniferdassow.com, and her Ravelry name, which is Knitting Vortex. I like the fact that she picked Chickinob, which is a reference to Oryx and Crake. But each of the designers have their blog or their website, as well as their Ravelry name. I enjoy that. I've also got a little thing on the photographer, which is great. And really, quite frankly, I don't see why anyone wouldn't want this book. It is a great little book. It is 172 pages. Of course, you can buy it in print or in e-copy. And again, edited by Alex Tinsley, who also has several patterns in it. Apocalypse Knits. Doomsday Knits. Sorry, Doomsday Knits, not Apocalypse Knits. It's projects for the apocalypse and after. I will be hosting a giveaway for this. It will last 1 week for everybody to put their name up. It will be on the Ravelry group. You know the rules. 1 entry per person. You must be a member of the group to apply. See, for a short episode, I had a lot to talk about because I did the review and I did the drawing. So A1 to win, you won the Dishcloth Diva Knits On, and I will put up the Doomsday Knits thread later today. And I hope everyone has a wonderful day, a wonderful week. I hope you start getting those snuggles knit. I hope I start getting those snuggles knit, but I'll be done this wolf by the end of the day, I swear. So, yeah. I will see everybody next week. I hope your January is going smashingly, and bye-bye.